Hey everybody, it's Dina Rica with the Creativity Cave, and look at this amazing box that I have to share with you today. This is called an explosion box because when you open it, whoa, it explodes open and there's all this amazing stuff on the inside, and we're actually going to dress it up even further. So let me show you how this comes together. It's pretty easy. I have to tell you, this is kind of funny. So I was asked to be a part of this box making design team, and we do a monthly blog hop. And to be honest, I did it because I don't really do boxes very often, and I thought, oh, you know, it'll be a good way for me to expand my horizons. But man, I am a card maker through and through. I really struggle with it. So I hope you think this is okay. I know this is not a new technique or a new concept, but I really like it, and so I hope you will too. It definitely, card making is my strong suit, not box making, but I am working. So let's just see what we can do. All right, so first I'm going to start with a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I'm going to score at 4 inches on all of the sides. So that's easy enough. So 4, and I like using my trimmer instead of my simply scored board, and the only reason is because later we're going to do some more precise score lines, and I find you get a little crisper, thinner line versus on your scoreboard it's a little wider line. Does that make sense? And I don't know if it makes a difference or if it's just me. It could be just me. Okay, I find box making is fairly precise. Like, you can't flub it up too badly because it's noticeable, and in card making, I find I can easily cover my mistakes. I also find it interesting too because the people on our design team are all over the world. I'm the only American. And I think boxes are huge in Europe and maybe the South Pacific, I don't know. But they are not, it's not the same here, I don't think. So I find it fascinating, just, I don't know, the whole thing is interesting. But challenge accepted, here we go. So, all right, the first thing we're going to do is trim off the corners. So what I'm going to do is take the point here and the point here on my trimmer and then cut that off. So I'm putting the very point in the little spot for my, whatever you call this, channel, okay? And then I'm cutting, all right? Now, if you're not 100% perfect on this, it is not the end of the world at all. This part you can flub up on just a little bit. And I found, actually, when I was doing my box, you can see I used printed paper, and I struggled a little bit because it was really hard to see the lines that I'd scored on that pattern because they were running like right along the edge of the design a little bit, so I struggled finding it. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to score from this point to the center of this point, okay? And I found the easiest way for me to do that was to line up this X right in my channel on both sides. And I don't know if that comes through super well on camera, but, and then I also found, let's see. Okay, I had to get my head in there. Now I'm only scoring up to the point, okay? So I'm not scoring the whole way. So I'm gonna find that point and then just score right there. And then I'll do the same thing down here. So you kind of line 2 of the points up at once. And then I'll flip it 90 degrees. So you can see here's my score line and here's my score line. It's not perfect, just as a little side note for you. But it's not too bad. And maybe we can use our bone folder to kind of fix that one line that's not, well, that one's not quite completely perfect either, but okay. So this is the one that's not perfect. So maybe I'll do this one first. You could maybe I didn't think this part would be as easy to line up correctly. I think the score lines helps. And then we can use our bone folder to really make that a nice crisp crease. Okay. So I'm telling you, I am really broadening my horizons. I know I teach you guys things, but man, I've been learning lots of stuff along the way myself, and it is definitely a learning experience. So you can see I'm just really creasing these so I get nice, good creases. You can see this one just didn't quite line up with the point, but like I said, I think we can kind of fix that and sort of burnish it into submission, because you know I like to make my paper crafts submit to my will. That was a little dark, but I think you catch my drift. So you definitely will have to tell me in the comments what you think about this. Either leave a comment on my blog or on my YouTube channel about what you think about these boxes that we're making. The first one I did, I'm trying to think, we did a candy dispenser, and then last month I couldn't participate because I had an unexpected funeral pop up. So, all right, here's our box. Now, on the inside of my box, you'll note that I decorated the inside with pieces of coordinating cardstock, so we can totally do that. On each of these, you can do all kinds of things. You can layer, you know, like a stamped image that you've colored or whatever. You can write a message. You can add photos, scrapbook. You know, this can be like a fun little scrapbook. And I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas. But what I thought would be fun for these is to have these be little love boxes that I give to my kids and my husband. And then I can add photos of us in here, as well as put a little treat inside and so forth. Okay, so that is the basic box. So that's pretty easy. Now, of course, we need a lid to hold this together. So for the lid, we need a piece that is 5 7/8 inch square, and then we're going to score at 7/8 of an inch on all of the sides. So I have put together a coordinating piece of DSP, and I can use either side on here, but I'm going to go to 7/8, which is just this tick mark, the larger of the two tick marks before the 1 inch line. So that one right there. I find that sometimes people struggle knowing exactly what the lines mean on their trimmers, and not all trimmers are the same. So I really like that Stampin' Up's trimmer has the 1/8 inch and 16th inch lines, and then it has every 1/4 inch. It's got the line that goes all the way down, so it's easy to ensure that you are indeed cutting straight. Now I'm going to take, to create the lid, I'm going to just snip one of the lines on each of my corners here, and then form the box. That part's pretty basic. Even I knew how to do that. And if you want, you can also just trim in, trim in just a touch on each of those lines, and that will help you. And you're going in on the square, not on the rectangle. Okay, so the little corner square you're going in on, not in on the rectangle. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I was way up there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm cutting that. So I just have that, but what I'm taking that little hunk out is coming out of the square, not off the rectangle. Sorry, I had my self kind of off on that a little bit. Okay, then likewise, we will crease on all those score lines and then adhere our box together. You want to, whenever you're doing any adhesive on a box, you want to make sure you're using a strong adhesive. I personally like Fast Fuse. You could also use liquid glue, because that is a really nice, sturdy, strong adhesive. Now, the reason I did that little nick out of the corner is so that your corners line up a little better. Do you see that? Let me show you the difference. Do you see how that sticks out a little bit? Yeah, my box is not perfect. So I just wanted to point that part out to you as well. Okay, so now we're gonna Fast Fuse those corners. So what I like to do is put Fast Fuse on all the corners before I go, because if I don't, when I start putting this together, it becomes 3-dimensional. And then it's really hard to get fast fuse on a corner when part of the box is already folded, you know. So that's just a little tip from me to you. All right, and then look at how nice that corner is. This one didn't go quite as well, and neither did this one. Oh well, so we have one nice corner. That's great. All right, I don't think that'll take away from my box too badly though. Okay, now because I have kind of a wild lid, I left the box itself fairly plain. You can certainly decorate it up and add a little more to it. Okay, so that's just the basic construction of your box. Now, the other thing that I thought would be kind of fun is what if we put a little box on the inside? Okay, so I did the exact same process for this box, only this time I did a 6-inch square. Let me get my Post-its. Okay, so the mini box is the same thing. It's a 6-inch square piece of DSP, and then I scored at every 2 inches to create this box, and then I cut off the corners just like before. Okay, now I did, I also want a lid for my box. So I've cut a 3, actually let me measure this because now I can't remember. I want to make sure I tell you the right thing. So I've got a 3.5-inch square mini box lid. 3.5 inches square. And then we're going to score at 5/8 of an inch. Okay. And again, we'll pull this out. Now I'm using gold paper. So 5/8 of an inch. Here's the 1/2 inch line. So we're just going to go over to the, so that's a 1/2 inch. We're going to go up that far. Okay. And I think now some of the other things this would be great for, you could do these boxes kind of with a different theme. So like a baby box or a Christmas box or a wedding box. And then inside can be your gift, which, you know, so many people give gift cards for things. So your gift inside could be the gift card, but you know, you really decorate a special box up for that person. And of course that becomes an heirloom kind of treasure that you will never forget. Okay, so again, I'll just put this together. So I think the possibilities are definitely endless. I love the idea of doing this for Valentine's Day. If you did a wedding one, we have the Sweet Soiree paper, which is just stunning paper and would be so perfect for this box. And what I love about that Sweet Soiree paper is many of the inside or the flip side of the pattern is so gorgeous, so you can show off both sides of the paper, which is really nice to be able to do that. Okay, so there's my lid to this box. And so we can put this on, and then we can place it inside our box like so. And then when you go to open this, there's another treasure. Now I will, of course, adhere this down really well to my box. Now I was thinking I would put in here kind of a fun treat for my kids. They love Lindor truffles. So I think, oh, Lindor truffle would fit in here perfectly. And I'm just trying to get that in relatively centered. Okay, so that's in really good. I mean, you can pick the whole thing up by the small box. We'll put the cover on, and then I want to show you how I decorated the lid of my box. Okay, so for the lid, I took and cut out 5 hearts with the, goodness, why can't I get my lid on here? There we go. Okay, so I die cut 5 hearts from the Sweet and Sassy Hearts. You can see I didn't actually finish because I wanted to show you the last one. And I scored each in half. Uh-oh, where'd my last heart go? No! Don't tell me I lost it. I scored each in half using my scoring blade. Here it is. Whew! Oh my goodness, crisis averted. And I just glued each of them together to create this. And I think the 5th one definitely adds to it. I started with 4, but this will create a more full heart. So I'm just going to take that half heart, put a bunch of adhesive on here, because again, we want it to hold on nicely. Okay, now I also need adhesive on this side. So here's a trick that I'm going to do. Use my silicone mat, and I can put adhesive on this side also, so that I can adhere it directly to the box. Wow, I really went to town on there. And of course it comes off the silicone mat, which is really nice. Now you can also kind of bring the mat with you so you don't accidentally stick it to your box in the wrong place. So I have it adhered here. I'm going to line it up with my heart. Make sure it's on here straight before I fully commit. And I'm just holding the edges together. Okay, and then I pulled that off, and now I can adhere it to my box nicely. And you can see that sort of fills that heart out a little better. And of course you could do this with any shape. It's just kind of a fun touch, I think, for your box. All right, now to do a little further jazzing, I did cut a smaller heart to go onto my small box. And of course, on that small box, you can add little notes or stamped images or whatever you'd like as well. Okay, so this one I just put 1 heart on there. But you know what? I think I can add just a little more. So what if we took and added a little bow and put that on top, and I have to just keep the gold going through. I've got some gold sequin trim that I think we can add to this. That would be really fun. Okay. Ooh, but you know what? I have one other idea. I've got some, there we go. This is better. This is Calypso Coral Shimmer Ribbon from the Celebration Choice. So you can get 3 rolls of ribbon as one of your celebration options. And this is the Calypso. So I think it's really pretty. Oh yeah, because I have kind of a lot of color going in here. Now what if I also stuck just a little bit of sequin trim under here to just kind of make it fun. All right, so I will attach that with a glue dot. Like so. Oh, this is definitely cute. Don't you like when stuff works out? I do. All right. I'm going to adhere this with a few glue dots, like maybe 3, just to make sure it really stays on nicely. Because like I said, if you're giving this to a kid, they're going to open it a bunch of times. So you want to make sure it's going to hold on there nice for you. All right, so there it is. Isn't this fun? Oh my gosh. I really think I might actually get into these boxes. Dang it. Oh. So I hope you guys loved this project. Please head over to my blog for the photos as well as directions, dimensions, and all of that good stuff. And of course, if you need to purchase any of these things, especially this DSP, I mean, it is stunning paper. So gorgeous. You can shop all of that at my online store. And of course, when you do, you become a VIP rewards member with the Creativity Cave. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.